Happy Monday. We get going on finishing up day 15 here, or 14. Um, let's get to work. Just to summarize, if we recall, the first part of this was there's a bunch of different reindeers. They go to different speed for a certain number of seconds. They rest for a certain number of seconds. And the first question was after 200 or 2,503 seconds, what distance was the winning reindeer away from the start position? We did that. Second question is going to be that it's going to be done on a second by second basis, right? So after 1 second, let's just pull up the puzzle input real quick. So if we look at all these, the fastest reindeer would be Donner, right? After 1 second. He would probably be in the lead for, those first 6 seconds, after which he rests for quite a long time, right? So that'll give the other reindeer a chance to catch up. Now, I thought a little bit about how I wanted to do this, and I think that maybe the most straightforward way is going to be for each reindeer making a slice that has their distance for each second. So, I mean, they're going to be, memory wise, pretty large arrays. But I don't think that that'll be that much of a problem. So, what I can do is for each reindeer, sort of iterate over that, in this example of Donner, in the index 0 spot of this, it would say 25. Second spot, it would say 50. Like index 1, it would be 50. Index 2, 75. So and so on until we get to after that 6 seconds, and then it would be what would it be 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150 forever, right? That way, then once we create these for all of the 9 reindeer, what we can have is a loop that we loop over, just a for loop that goes from 0 to 1, 2,502, right? So the indexes, and then looks at the values at each of those indexes and decides which one's the largest and awards a point there, right? And then we could have a map with each reindeer and the number of points they have, right? So I think that's what we'll do. Unfortunately, I don't think that we can reuse much of our code. Let me pull that old code up. Swap these around. I like having this on this side better. Let's see what we got. We're still gonna have to do some of those things, right? How are we? So we are gonna have to think about how to make that slice for each reindeer, right? We're going to need to. We can sort of map it off this total cycles, right? I wonder if we can. So what I'm thinking about is how we should make these. the loop in sort of assessing the reindeer is going to just go out to 2,503, right? I don't know if there's any reason why. So, we have these complete cycles. If we just did, complete cycles plus one and didn't worry about the um, extra time, right? And just did it for the full remainder cycle, there would be a bunch of stuff that doesn't get used, right? But I think it would be easier to just sort of deal with in my head, at least. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's first look at our tests and see what kind of tests we need to do. So I'm just going to call it part two cycles. It's going to be essentially the same as the other one. We're going to be redoing it somewhat. But we're just going to be returning 8 6 2, right? Here, I need shift. Shoot. Right down. All right. Go ahead and test it. Fails. Actually, we'll just grab this whole thing. Or 2 cycles. So we're going to have cycle time. And we'll just have cycles. And we're just going to be not worrying about extra seconds. I don't think that there's going to be hold on. I mean, I guess the question is if somebody has exactly that, right? And no remainder. So, oh boy, what did I do? So we'll still do this extra seconds. Spelled that wrong. No, we'll just call it extra seconds. There's no reason not to. So we're going to say if extra seconds is greater than 0. Then we will return cycles plus 1. And otherwise we will return just cycles, right? Right, so what we're doing here is we're saying if it's exact, we'll just return that and we'll do it the whole way. If it is not exact, that means there's extra. We'll just do the whole thing. Again, why not? All right, so let's test that. Passes. Okay. So now what are we going to do with that? We need to think about making an array, right? So now instead of passing in like the total here, we're going to pass in the number of cycles. Oh, that was loud. I'm not going to do it for these ones because that'll just be too much, right? So let's do 3, right? Oh, we're going to need another value. We need the amount that we're adding to, don't we? Oh, so I should name this first. We're going to call it make. Slice. Oh, please. I'm gonna pause while somebody is vacuuming upstairs. Sorry, I'm gonna mute while someone's vacuuming upstairs. All right. So what I've tried to do there's still some noise upstairs, but we're gonna try to get through it. So what I've tried to do there is mimic out this. I'm gonna be putting in the first spot here, like the distance that it travels. The second spot here will be the go time, and then the rest time, and then the number of cycles, right? So for in this case, first second 10, 20, and then we rest for 2, 20, 20, 30, 40 for the second sprint, 30, 40 for the second sprint, rest, 50, 60. Well, then it would still be 60, 60, right? For the last part. All right. So let's go ahead and test that. And, I'm actually going to copy this because I'm going to be using some of the, Jesus. Okay. So the first part of this is going to be, we're going to loop through, let's make, right. So the first thing we're going to do is, for, do we care about the index? No, so we're going to do a for loop, but we're going to do it with just, like, cycles. For cycle equals 0. So that'll go through the number of cycles we're requesting. Then we are going to do um, so we need to, okay, so here's what I'm thinking right now. Sort of for the first one, right? We need to like get a value, right? We could, the best thing might be to just start at 0, right? And have our index 0 be like times 0, where nobody started yet, where everybody starts at 0. And then from then on, we add on to it. So our index is the number of seconds versus, doing that shift by 1. So that's that. I'm going to go with that. So let's see here. Start at 0. And then we're going to, iterate that up. All right. So now we're going to do 2 different for loops, right? For I'm going to call it an F, right? Because it starts with fly, equals 0. While F is less than fly, F plus plus. And then what we're going to do is distance plus equals dist, right? That's the sort of sprint distance. So distance equals dist, and then we're going to return slice append with dist. Okay. We're going to do that for all of F, right? And we're going to have another for loop for r equals, and r is for rest, 0, while r is less than rest. So that's the rest time, right? R plus plus. And then all we're going to do, we're keeping right, we're not adding any to it, we're just keeping distance, right? We're going to cycle through that as many times as we got, and then we're going to return it. I don't think we need to do anything beyond this. I think that this will be enough. Let's go ahead and test it. Oh, doesn't like it. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I know why, right? Because we didn't start with that 0. We changed it midway, right? So now we're expecting at time 0 that to happen. It doesn't. Let's see. Why? Oh, that's why. Okay. So the problem is that we're hold on one sec. All right, sorry about that. So let's think about why this is going wrong, right? It's doing the first one, right? Is it stopping? Is it stopping soon? Too soon? Doing 0. You should do it twice, right? Hmm. Oh. Well, it should loop through these. Then it should loop through these, right? Why isn't it? It's like... I'm going to do even though I shouldn't, print line, and I'm just going to throw an F in here just to see how many times we go through this, right? 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, so that's working, right? So it hits in, drops in once, adds 10 to 0. It's weird that it has the same numbers. It still gets to 60. What? Why is it going to 10 here? Okay, let's think. First time it pops in, zero's already there. It makes 0, 10, or distance 10. And it adds appends distance. There it is, 10. And it cycles through one more time. Distance is 10. We're going to add more. It's like it's not. Oh, geez. Okay, that's what it is. I should be adding distance here. Dummy. Okay, let's try it again. There we go. Passes. All right, so I feel pretty good about this function where it makes the slice. Okay, now let's think about what we want to do with our data. We're gonna have, I think what we're gonna need to do is sort of make a struct. Let's do it up here. Of course, forgotten how to make a struct. Type here struct name string what do we want? And probably just the what did we call that? A slice, and that's going to be that int. Okay. So now what we have is this, and we're going to create, as we go through, a new struct, right, with this deer's name, Donner, dancer, whatever, and then the slice. So that way we can we? So we'll iterate through them and say like, is Ray slice index 5 the biggest so far? If so, set the winner, the current winner to deer name, right? And then at the end of that loop of checking that position for all the reindeer, whatever that current value is, then we'll add one more, right, to our map. Okay. We got to make that map. Am I making this more complicated than it needs to? Probably. Let's go. Hold on. right? So what do I want to do? I want to make make that, right? So it's going to be sort of like this one right here, right? We're going to make a func race deer. We're going to input, what are we going to input? Probably just all this stuff, right? With the name. No. We will input data. And we will output a pointer to where that is, deer. Let's see. Let's call it D equals deer name equals, and I believe that will be, oh no, I don't want that. I want to do it like I did here. Oh no, that's right. So the name is going to equal your data, and that's going to be at index 0, right? And comma here. And here, let's drop this down. Race slice is going to equal make slice. All right, we need all this other stuff here, don't we? So distance yes. Okay. And we set those before here. Distance equals that. Y length is 6 and 13. Okay. So here we got, when we're also going to need the, what are we going to need? The duration. Are we? Yes. Rest. Hold on, I'm getting turned around here. Let's think about this. What do we have right now? We have the ability to make a slice. Having a really hard time concentrating with this damn vacuum. Let's think through our whole part 2 here, right? This is our list of strings. We're going to do the same thing as we did before on this one, and we need to make that map. Winners map, I'm just going to call it. Hold on. I don't think that's going to help, but what are we going to do? So our winner map is going to consist of a list of the deer names, so strings, and it is going to followed by an int, which will be the number of like seconds they were in the lead, right? Okay. Now, after we get that, we're going to have to we need to get these like maps of each of them, and that's going to be all of them, right? I'm just going to not do test-driven development anymore. I'm getting tired of this, and I'm having a hard time thinking. So let's call it result CLTS equals, and then we're going to make a function here. Called, I think, race deer. I'm going to call it race deer. I might have to change the name of the other one. All right, so here, race deer, what we're going to do is we're going to be passing in remember that's the int that we're getting passed in, right? Race deer data and duration, race deer data and duration, and we're going to return with a list of deer. All right, so what's this problem? Oh. So we're going to do a for care about index. Here in range data, right? So this is going through each of the reindeer. We're going to okay, so now we're getting our reindeer parts back, right? And well, maybe I do this. We're going to grab these guys right here. Okay, so we've got distance that it's going, fly that it's going, the rest that it's going. Um, now I got to use it, just like we did here. So remember, this is for each reindeer, so we can and then we're going to make the slice with distance, fly, rest, and then we haven't gotten our cycles yet. We need to make our cycles, which we'll set. We got one more. Cycles is equal to P2 cycles. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Fly duration. All right. And then after we have this deer, we will all the deer append all deer D, I think. What am I doing here? This is where I get, I want to return right? No, I just want to return that, right? All right, so now it's returning the pointer to where the stuff is saved. All right, so now I have all of those deers with their names and that slice. All right. So now what I want to do is I'm going to start with 1, right? Because I want to start at index 1. I'm going to skip index 0. Nobody's going to win index 0, right? I'm going to go until I is, so while I is less than or equal to, because we want to hit the equal to point to get that last step, duration. Plus. All right, so now we're looping through all the seconds, right? Now what we need to do is for this, is that the word? It would be, I'm gonna call it max. Okay, we set it to 0. And we're gonna loop through, right? Okay, so for so we want to know the max distance, but we also want to know the name of the deer. All right, for don't care of the index, reindeer in range results. Remember, that's all of our deer. If reindeer race slice I, right? So that's where we are at this set is greater than max distance, then max distance equals reindeer race slice I, and max deer equals reindeer name, right? Good. All right. Else, nothing. We'll just skip over it. All right. So we're going to do that for all the results. And then finally, now we're at the end. We have been keeping track of the furthest one and keeping track of which reindeer that is, right? Now that we have gone through all the reindeer, we can make that assessment, right? And add that reindeer to the map. So, oh geez, now I'm gonna have to do that. Let me see if I can remember. I'm gonna see if I can remember how to do the map stuff. All right. If value, okay, equals winners map max deer. So we're saying if it's okay, so that means if it is in the map, then we change it. Winners map max deer maybe we don't need the value. I don't think we do, because we're just gonna get what it is and iterate it, right? Else, so this is if it doesn't, if it isn't in, right, then we're gonna go winners map max deer equals 1, right? So it's only going to be there for its first. All right, so I didn't do that right. Huh? Not too mad at me. Whatever. Unnecessary, don't care. All right, so that means that we're collecting all the winners, iterating by one, or incrementing by one each time. And now what we want to do at the very end, after we've gone through everything, is let's see. I mean, we could always just I don't want to sort slice. Okay, here we go. M is the map. So I can range over it. Let's see. I think I'm at the end here. Type. So I know how to sort strings keys. Can I sort strings? All right, I don't want to do this. What we'll do is just or here. This should be the int, right? That's the value. Here is greater than max wins. Max wins equals dear, otherwise we don't care, return max wins. All right, let's go ahead and see how we can test this, right? So I am, can I still test this and pass it? Okay, so the things I have are passing. What we're going to do here is test part 2. Wait, what do I have here? Okay, part 2. Test part 2. We're gonna still keep that input test with 1,000, and our result should be 6, 8, 9. Let's go for it. Actual 1, 1, 2. Did I do that right? Oh, because I said part 1. We got off by 1. Am I not getting to the end? Let's look at this again. I'm starting at index 1, which is where I want to start, right? And going let me just see if this makes it off by 2. No, that's still off by 1. Did I save that? Where did my... I'm going to say duration plus 1. See if that fixes it. That's weird. Why isn't it doing that? It's like it's not making... See, this is why it's good to have tests, which I don't have for this second part. I just want to be done with it. I'm going to print out winners map. Let's see what I get. We got Comet 312. We got that right. Dancer. So I think it's safe to say, because I remember both of those had remainers where they had like the full amount, right? The very last like bits that we're assessing, they're the same numbers, right? So my question is, what is, I think it's got to be this. Because the issue is that if I change this, it should change, right? Right. So it's 312 and 688, or maybe that's because he's in the lead at the very end. Okay, so that's why it is working, but it's not picking up one of those. Why isn't it picking up one of those? Um, After, what happens if I do 0? I mean, I don't think that's, I think that's going to be a problematic because there's no, like there's no one, right? Okay, let's think. Why would dancer have one less than we intend? Let's read the instructions again. Sometimes that's the problem. Oh boy, if there are multiple reindeer tied for the lead, they each get 1 point. All right. I'm going to definitely need to change this. Max deer is going to need to equal that. Max deer equals and max deer reindeer name. All right, so now we're adding that, right? And now we're going to have to do a for nothing right. Um, okay, so if, well, it doesn't give me that error anymore. That's nice. Maybe that'll fix it. Wise comment. This is, all right. You guys. All right. So we are tending that deer. So we're going to have a list of deers. Oh, that's the problem. Oh. We're going to have to like do another loop. Okay, no, this is what we're going to do. Max deer equals reindeer name. That ends that. Then we got another. So that's if it's greater, right? Is there an else if? Is there an else if? Just a bunch of if. Oh, just okay. There's an else if. Okay, so else if it equals. So we're gonna say equal here, right? So if it ever goes over, it's gonna it needs to clear that out, right? So if it's greater, unset. There we go. Oh, I know what I can do. We'll just make it equal. We'll just make that a fresh literal populated by that string, right? So max tiers is going to reset it as just that. Else, if it equals max distance, we'll append it. I think that should work. Let's see. Let's try it again. All right, and we passed it. I don't know why we passed it. I don't know why that added one more. I'm guessing it's because at some point they were tied, right? And that would make sense, right? Because that was dealing with the tiebreaker. Because these numbers together equaled 1,000, and this now together equals 1,001. All right, let's run this and get done with it. Data, and we're going to 25 row 3. That's what we want for part 2. Let's go ahead and run it now. Oh, I added all of them. All right. I shouldn't have done that, right? I printed out that map. Let me get rid of that. Make it clearer. Um, 1,000 sites. So let's try it. 1084. Gold star. All right. Oh. Praise. All right. That's done. We got it. We got our gold stars for day 14. I'll have you know that my 25 stars here matches as far as I got in 2020 before I quit. Day and a half. 2 days I'll start this. So tomorrow, 24 hours from now. Yeah, I mean, that'll probably be my last one. All right, so let's go look at that real quick. Let's see what tomorrow will bring us. Also, my new job, I don't think they use Go, so it's possible that I switch this around and do it in Python instead, or end up doing it in Python and Go. We'll see. Another good map. Ooh, we're gonna make some cookies. Oh, this is fun. We'll see what that looks like tomorrow. All right. Anyways, take care, everybody. If you enjoyed, feel free to follow me if you want, or if this is on YouTube afterwards, you can like it and subscribe. It makes me feel happy when people do that. I know it shouldn't, but it does. We're all way more vain than we think. All right, take care.